It's the Numerovational session with King Simon. Text your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. And get my books on Amazon now. Hey, this is King Simon. Remember, make sure you go to my website, kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com or Linktree at King Simon the Numerovator. Get all 4 of my books, and of course, that's the Numerovation for Mental Stability. Numbers are simple, people are complicated. Numbers are simple, children's health is important, and no promotion is bad promotion. Just spell my name right. Make sure you get them now on all my links. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. Go now. What's up, family? How are you feeling? How are you feeling? How are you feeling? Wanted to spread some wisdom and some light from a numerovational perspective. How you doing? How you doing? I shot the sheriff, but I did not shoot the deputy. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? And from the book of Numerovation for Mental Stability, do you remember you can purchase the book on Amazon? Yes. And in the book, I start off on page 2, phase 2 of my book. And the beginning quote of my book is, "Pessimism leads to weakness and optimism leads to power." That was said by the late William James, born January 11th, 1842, transitioned August 26, 1910. Phase 2 of the book, Emotional Patterns in Numbers. My purpose for writing this material is for us to recognize the mathematical patterns and sequences of the numbers and how to use them to navigate life intentionally. I truly believe the wisdom of our elders can be applied to the study of numbers also. Like they used to say, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Knowing our numbers is that ounce of prevention. Now, it is very important that my brothers and sisters out there realize that if you find that ounce of prevention inside of you to prevent the thought patterns of going down a narrow road of negativity, that ounce of prevention is always there. So the old quote is, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Because if you learn to prevent a thing, you don't have to end up curing it at the end. I just wanted to say that comes out of my book, Numerovation for Mental Stability. Then I go on to say towards the bottom of the book, numerovation is one of the motivational methods that can be used to guide those who are in need. You may ask, what do I mean by that? And I will tell you, as it does saith the book. Well, according to some studies, online and offline, there are 10 basic emotions, emotional patterns, shared by all humans, and they are joy, excitement, surprise, sadness, anger, disgust, contempt, fear, shame, and guilt. Numerovation can help us to recognize the need to manage our emotion and balance the above 10 basic emotions. If the individual connected to the number is willing to understand their strengths and their weaknesses. In the book, thus I say, many of us are so troubled by our past that it is hard to find balance within, especially combined with outside distractions. It is very hurtful condition. It is a very hurtful condition that we probably all know so well. Ding! A numerovational reminder. Learn to look at numerology from a holistic perspective, and it will provide more data. Yes, family. I'm not going to read the book like that. Don't worry. I'm not going to do my audiobook in that voice. I could, but I will not. That came from page 20 going into 21 of the second phase of my book called Emotional Patterns in Numbers, where I go into different patterns that people may deal with, situations, beliefs, thoughts, feelings, actions, and results. So I try to keep it basic and simple. And then, of course, I give you recommended reading in the back of the book and probably websites. But it is really incumbent upon all of us to assess what we need to do for our own mental stability. And sometimes bringing out a character can be very helpful. Dr. B is very good at that, bringing out a character. I used to be very good at that, but now I'm redeveloping that. I'm bringing out characters, because when you bring out the characters like cartoon voices and those type of things, it helps to bring a childlike mentality back and brings laughter. So if I decided to read it just like this, in my hybrid form of numerology called numerovation, I see the need for motivation through the numbers and their higher frequency and interpretations. However, I also see the potential negative, lower frequencies, depression, and trauma in the numbers. These traumas usually start from childhood and eventually show up in adulthood and will have an effect on various relationships. See, I can go where I want to go with it. And Dr. B does it also. I used to do that when I was younger. And on radio, I used to imitate different voices with friends of mine on radio. So I have no problems going down, And sometimes you want to go deeper. You might want to go into a deeper perspective of your voice to bring out the bass of your voice. Then I go on to say, as I said, those were a few basic examples that can cause trauma, depression, and mental health issues. In different countries and cultures, there can be many other situations that also contribute to mental health problems. I do suggest taking the time out to do more research to help yourself or anyone that may be suffering from mental instability. It is very important to learn to recognize it in the early stages of childhood. I mean, you could do whatever you want with words. So, to me, it's so important to tap into my child again, and the fun that I had with my cousins back in the day, imitating and doing makeshift commercials on cassette. Those who know what a cassette is. I'm not expecting any of you young people to understand what a cassette is, but if I went into my archives, I will bring out a Jurassic cassette. I can bring out a Jurassic VHS tape. I can even find an 8-track tape. I more than likely can find an 8-track. So Jurassic, I call them Jurassic methodologies. But those things, those cassettes, those VHSs, those 8-tracks at a certain time got a lot of us that are older now through our day. When Les Brown used to put a lot of his stuff on cassette, I used to have a cassette burner because I used to have a partner and I used to have a bookstore in Queens, in Hollis, Queens. And I used to work in the Nation of Islam bookstore on 125th Street and Malcolm X Boulevard. So I used to burn cassettes all the time over there before the CD era came in. So a lot of those past things like old music on vinyl can get you through. So if you're going through any mental ups and downs, go back to the child in you that had fun. Go back to those moments, because those moments are the ones that will get you through the mental ups and downs or the mental instability. And like I said in my book is called Numerovation for Mental Stability, a numerovational guide to recognizing mental instability and staying motivated. That is the important premise of why I wrote the book. Alongside a few of my friends and family members went through depression. A few of them took their life. Some of them went into mental facilities. It is a real thing happening out here. And happy birthday today to one of my stepdaughters from my son's sister, older sister. She's gone through her stuff, born on that 16 energy. Happy birthday to Mashallah Ali, the actor. I may have butchered up that first name, but his last name is Ali, the actor, who's playing Blade. He's going to be playing Blade in the new series. Today is his born day. Happy birthday to Kofi the reggae artist. Today is her born day. Big up to them. Before I get off this line, this was just something brief. I wanted to come on and just show the importance. I want to teach on something that I have on the board, but my spirit is not there for that yet. But it's the word allow that Dr. B has rebranded, and the word honor. Those are two words that have a mathematical frequency. Allow the honors. That's what I'm trying to bring forth out of this. And I definitely want to teach later on, probably in a couple of days, on the word empathy and apathy. Those two words, the meanings and the mathematical vibrations, the numerical vibrations to empathy and apathy, and how we are juggling between those two things right now in this age of the Aquarian, misnomer the Aquarian. We are juggling between empathy and apathy, like a ball, like two balls in we're juggling right now. And we're going to discuss the meanings of those words. And on your own, you can do it. You can study it and study the meanings before I come on and talk about it. But when we get to the numbers aspect of it, you'll see the duality from a numerical or a numerovational perspective. Because my mission, which encompasses a lot of missions that I have, and I have dealt with over the years, my mission is to numerovate people, to understand the importance of learning to be motivated with the direct numbers connected to your birthday and your name. Even the ones that you choose and the spiritual ones, the spiritual names, or even the nicknames, everything has a vibration to it. And once you understand the importance of using those vibrations connected to your name and your birthday, it will be a navigational lesson. Navigational lesson, because on the road, you learn a lot on the road. On the road, when you're driving and you navigate it to wherever you got, if you pay attention to what's happening on the road, you learn a lot. You learn that there's some people that drive crazy. You learn that there's some people that drive slow. You learn that nature is all around us. You learn that buildings can be built at certain times, at certain periods. If you're really paying attention, there's a lot going on when you leave your house until the time you come back to your house. There's a lot of living going on, a lot of energy being shared, because the universe is constantly creating. And the animal universe and the insect universe, all of it is constantly creating as we're getting prepared for the spring season coming towards March. I'm starting to see inklings of it now. I seen a ladybug the other day in my house. I haven't seen a ladybug in here in a while. You know, life. And you remember the song, "Life is what you make it, oh darling, my dear, try and make it. I know that you will. Ragamuffin love, come give me the ragamuffin love. Ragamuffin love, come give me the ragamuffin love." Life is what you make it. And that word life in the Chaldean system is powerful. The word life adds up to a number 16 in the Chaldean system. 3 plus 1 plus 7 plus 5 equals 16. So, if you read my book that touched on the 16 are talking about the number of fatality if you don't plan your life. Yeah. So it's powerful. So in my book, again, any word you can relate it and connect it to any significant words that you are using in your life, from your name, which is a word, from the words that you use, the phases that you uses. So the number 16, the word life in the Chaldean system, is the spiritual victory. So if you are understanding and understanding your life and working on building your life, it is supposed to guide you and deliver you to a spiritual victory. But on the other side, there's also spiritual defeat, because there's duality, depending on its use. That's what I say in the book. 16 is the vibration of creativity and balance, love, and spiritual insight. So the word life, you're supposed to be creative, balanced, loving, and have spiritual insight or develop spiritual insight. 16 in other systems is called the cosmic consciousness, the number of cosmic consciousness. So if the word life adds up to 16, it's connecting you to a conscious consciousness, cosmic consciousness, both physical and spiritual. Because 1 plus 6 equals 7, and 7 is a deeply spiritual number. The 1 is the creative number. The 6 is the balance and harmony number. But it connects to the number 7 because it adds up to the number 7. The word life, again, adds up to 16. And I talk about it. Life can sometimes take you to being deep in thoughts, intuitively wise, very analytical, because sometimes you do have to analyze life. And because the word life in the Chaldean system, the older system from the melanated people of that time, understood this in their own cuneiform, because they was writing the cuneiform back in the days of letters and numbers. So that's how they was counting. And as it transliterated and morphed into what we're doing, the numbers in the counting system today, now it's developed so we can interpret it in the English dialect. It can be interpreted in the Arabic dialect. It can be interpreted in the Hebraic dialect. It can be interpreted in the Amharic dialect. It can be interpreted in any dialect as long as there's letters and numbers. So, family, on that note, I'm going to delve into the word allow and honor one day. I'm going to delve into the words allow and honor one day. I wrote it on the board last night before I went to bed because it came up in something. And it didn't come up during the time that Dr. B was on Brother Rich's show. It came up, I think, while I was watching something. But usually when my mind is flowing and you study, and I study movies, I study television shows, I study what's happening. Thank you very much for showing, giving me a badge, Master Mason Mind. Thank you very much. So if the word life, again, in the Chaldean system is a number 16, let's look at it from a Pythagorean system now, before I get off. So L is 3, I is 9, F is 6, and E is 5, and that adds up to a number 23. Very important number also, because 23 in compound numerology interpretation over the patterns, cycles, and sequences that they've studied for years and years and years. Not 1 year we did this. Many years it came about, watching that kind of cycle. The 23 is the royal star. The royal 23 in numerology is called the royal star of the lion or lioness. 23 is also known as one of the best combinations of numbers in numerology. 23 adds up to 5. So the word life in the Pythagorean system, because it breaks down to the number 5, you have to be versatile in life. You have to adapt in life. You have to be willing to be free or free yourself in living your life. But because it adds up to the number 23 first, the 23 says that life can give you extraordinary gifts, talents, skills. I write about it in my book. Life. So life in the Pythagorean system equates to the number 23, which is a 5. In the Chaldean system, the older system of the two, equates to the number 16, which is a 7. And we know that 16-7 is a preparatory number that you got to plan, or you plan to fail. So the 16 is there to discipline the number 5, because sometimes the 5 can get a little wild. So in life, you can get a little wild, but on the other side of the spectrum, in the older spectrum, it's telling you got to be very careful of wilding to a reckless part of your life. So that 16 is a disciplinary number, that it says it's the number of fatality if you don't plan and have a blueprint. And numbers can help you with this blueprint along the way. Astrology can help you with the blueprint along the way. Cosmophysics can help you with the blueprint along the way. Cardiology can help you with the blueprint along the way. Religion could help you with the blueprint along the way. You just have to be willing to look at the blueprint every now and then and make sure that you're in alignment with your blueprint that you've drawn out, that you recognize that you must stay steadfast. I don't play when it comes to this stuff. You know, that's why I tell people I don't do readings. I consult you and advise you so you can learn to activate, because a lot of your frequencies connected to your numbers have been deactivated over time and distractions. But you want to reactivate it and re-maximize it. You were starting to do it as a child, because we wasn't afraid of nothing as a child until somebody said, don't do that. Don't play with fire. Don't run across the street. Don't hit your sister. Don't hit your brother. Get off of that table. Don't jump off of that bridge. They started inundating us with madness over the years. It's important that we recognize that all of us have been domesticated by parents and grandparents. And most of that domestication held us back from our power. A lot of people is still second guessing and holding themselves back from their power because of the domestication. We've been domesticated like cats and dogs. I was reading the book, and I have to say, what the reminder came from Don Ruiz's book, Mastery of Love, that I'm reading right now. That's my bedtime story before I go to bed. I always read before I go to bed. That's why, I'm one of those people got to have separate rooms. If I'm in a relationship, I have to have my separate room, because I'll get up and just read and turn on lights. So it's good that if I have a wife or a woman, you have that room, I have this room, because I know something. I'm going to wake up and do my thing. I'm going to disturb you. Because this morning, let me close out with this. This morning, I had the most interesting dream about my grandmother. May she rest in peace. My cousins on Prospect, two of my cousins, Andre and Robin, and Cat Williams was in the dream. And I woke up in tears because Cat, at the end of the dream, showed me a check. And it had like 777, like 4, 5 sevens. I think about 7. It had like 5 sevens on it. And the check in my mind wasn't able to be cash. So you know what? Cat Williams, I was introducing Cat to my family and my cousins and my grandmother and all that grandmother transition years ago on Prospect. And I started writing down the numbers of all those significant things that I seen in my dream. Cat Million's birthday I put down. His name Cat adds up to a master number 11. My cousin Rob is born on May 27th. My cousin Andre is born on October 6th. My grandmother was born June 22nd. We was at 4:30, because we was in the house that I grew up in. We was at 438 Prospect, back in the day. And Cat Williams was walking with me, and I said, "Yo, come on, let's meet my family." And I took him in, and Cat was so gracious. He just hugged Rob. He went to came and saluted my grandmother. Very gracious, bro. Which I heard he's that type of person. And he seen that I couldn't change this check, so Cat disappeared. And you know what Cat Williams did in my dream? He disappeared and came back with an envelope with a check in his hand, but with an envelope with a lot of money orders that would compensate for the check, because I couldn't change the check. And he gave it to me, and I shook my head like, "Brother, why are you doing this?" And then I just took the envelope and gave it to my grandmother. I said, "Grandma, this is yours." And I woke up in tears. And it's significant. I'm still breaking down the dream. I'm still interpreting the dream and what it means. It gets deeper. But it lets me know that I'm on the right path. I'm on the right path. and I will not let anyone disturb my path. I'm that focused more now than ever. I'm not into the party life. I'm not in it. People ask me, what you did for your birthday? And absolutely nothing. I took myself out to watch a movie by myself. I went to Dunkin' Donuts and ate something that I used to like to love, just to bring back that euphoric matters. I ate a coffee cake, drank tea without milk and sugar, because the coffee cake already got sugar. I don't need no more of it. And then I waited to go to the movies and watch a movie. Nobody was in the movie theater, so I sat right there by myself and watched the movie, Aquaman, to study. I've done all the parties all my life. I didn't need to do a party. I didn't need to go to parties. But that dream was very significant because my grandmother accepted the finance, the money. I didn't recognize why I should get that finance, but I understood he was changing the check because I wasn't able to cash in. So I know. And when you see 777, let's go to the angel book real quick, because I seen 77, definitely seen 777. That was the number that I seen, which is like a jackpot in the casino world. But in the angel number book, it says, and I quote, it says, you are definitely on the right path in every area of your life. Stay balanced and spiritually aware so that you can continue moving forward on this illuminated path. That's what she says. That's what she says in the book. Powerful. So yeah, I know I'm on a path. I know I can't leave this realm until I finish what I gotta do. Believe me, I'm tired. Believe me, I'm tired. But I'm not thinking about taking my life and none of that stuff anymore like back in the day. I only thought about it 3 times in my life and got done. But I am tired, and I know where I'm going. I know what travels that I have to do. I know more than likely I'm not coming back to this planet. I'm going to keep the books. The books will be on this planet. All my books will be on this planet. That's why I'm writing 6 more books. That's it. 6 more, I'll have 10. That's my frequency. Number 1, it adds up to 1. That's my frequency. 10 is the Wheel of Fortune number. That's the frequency of books that I will have on this planet for my children or family or friends who understood my mission on this planet. So the Synchronicity book, let's see what she says in Synchronicity book about the 777. I look at all angles because it's all aspects. Because I dreamt that 777 definitely showed up in my dream. And in this book by Anne-Marie Uber, 777, she says, jackpot. The 777 is an extremely lucky number. It suggests winnings at games of chance. It also represents the higher levels of consciousness, closest to that of the God source. 777 represents angels of the highest dimension and transcending conscious thought. It is divine perfect love. It is outside of the world and therefore uplifts this plane of existence. It represents the purity and innocence of spirit. 777 says you have been blessed by spirit. Your soul is ascending in this lifetime, and the return home to spirit is assured. I am aware of my divinity. Divine love flows through me. Content disclaimer: the views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Copyright disclaimer: under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed. Hey, this is King Simon. Remember, make sure you go to my website, kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com, or Linktree at King Simon the Numerovator. Get all 4 of my books, and of course, that's the Numerovation for Mental Stability. Numbers are simple, people are complicated. Number are simple, children's health is important, and no promotion is bad promotion. Just spell my name right. Make sure you get them now on all my links. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. Go now.
Eye to eye, heart to heart, each one teach one, us. This is Professor Imhotep, the Island Monk, here at Warrior Kido Jiu-Jitsu, Way of the Warrior Spirit. So we're here to go over the rules and try to make that as swift as possible for you guys. So the rules essentially are very few. Number 1 is to follow us on TikTok at the Island Monk, or if you have Instagram, you can follow us at Warrior Temple Island University, or if you really love us and want to show us support, you can follow us at both. You're going to find the Kata Shodachi, and you're either going to duet us on TikTok or collab with us on Instagram and win 10 tickets for every additional video you do beyond that. So as we say with all the warriors, eye to eye, heart to heart, each one teach one, us.
It's the Numerovational session with King Simon. Text your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022, and get my books on Amazon now. Some people think that this esoteric knowledge is for the rich and powerful, when in actuality, the so-called 85% has a spark in them that if it is sparked through numerology, astrology, numerovation, whatever, it will raise them up from an 85%, maybe to a 10%, and eventually they become the 5%, the poor or prosperous righteous teachers. You gotta understand that this knowledge is not just for one class of people. We gotta get out of the classes.